everybody. Welcome to Level Up Live. Welcome to the stream. Hey guys, let us know who's here in the live chat as you pile in here. Really excited today because we are getting to look and work with a new composer in our ranks. So this is Hannah Ausband. I already messed it up. Hannah Ausband Scheidt. And I'm really excited today because we get to work on a couple epic orchestral tracks for her. So today I'm working inside Cubase, and we're going to be taking apart both of these tracks. We're going to be diving in. So as always with any live stream, please let us know who's here. I think it's going to be a ton of fun as we jump in here today. Because today we get to play around with some sample instruments. We get to figure out how to make the orchestral sound, the big epic sound bigger than life. And I just think it's gonna be a ton of fun. And the reason we're starting a few minutes here late today is, of all things, I was trying to figure out what the tempo and time signature were for one of these pieces of music. So I want to show you behind the scenes a little bit. You can probably figure out why this is such a tricky situation. So for many of you who work within DAWs, you know that anytime you import MIDI information, it does come with a time map. It comes with a tempo embedded into that file. But the danger with that is sometimes composers have differing opinions on what the time signature is and what the tempo is. So we all know what the end result should be because we can hear the track. But what happens is when a different composer, such as myself in this case, if I hear it as a different time signature, it has to change the tempo to match. So let me just play a tiny bit of this track. We're going to be tackling two tracks here over the next couple hours. Hope you guys can stick around for that. I want you just to hear a little bit of this, and I'm curious in the chat, I want to hear what time signature do you feel like this actually is? So what do you think, guys? What does that sound like to you? Immediately, I count a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dun, 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 dun. But others of you may have heard 4. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sorry, a 3. So dun, 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 dun. Or others of you may have actually heard a 4, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which could be considered 12/8 compound meter, or it could be 4/4. So at the end of the day, we're using triplets in a simple meter, so a 4 or a 2 time, or we're using a triple meter, which would be your 3, 6s, or 9s, or 12. And so we have to agree on that, or else we can't even work on the piece of music. So what I found really funny was I threw this MIDI into this session, and I literally spent 10 minutes doing the math. It's not that complicated, but I was just like, what is this tempo? What is this? Because I do want to show you this. Some of the files that Hannah gave me to work on this. She did give me some sheet music, which is very telling, which is super helpful. So let me blow that up real quick, and you can see over here. So for the Gods and Men main theme that we're working on today, you see way up here in the corner, she put dotted quarter note equals 65, and then 6/8 as the time signature. So what do you do with that? Well, if I put that into my session, DAWs don't do dotted rhythms. And that's one of the biggest challenges when you're dealing with a DAW, is transferring something in your head to the software. So on paper, it works great. And I think any classically trained musician could look at that and they'd understand that the conductor is going to conduct in 2, as we say, but it's going to be 2 big beats of 3 notes per beat. So dun 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that's not what I hear. What I hear is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 even beats, and we're doing the dotted rhythm of dun 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 dun. So you really could do this either way, but I think for our purposes today, the only way that makes sense to me is to do this in a 6/4 time to help make up the difference, and then to change the tempo accordingly. So if this is kind of a funny problem that sometimes we run into when we're producing music. So I'm curious what you guys think, if you can figure out the math real quick. If a dotted quarter note equals 65, then what would the quarter note be in a time signature of 6/4 to help glue it all together? And everybody, welcome Hannah in the live chat today. She's joining us as we work on these tracks. Did you come up with the right answer? I wanted to give you a second to think about it. Anybody? In the meantime, take a look at the sheet music and we can see what's going on here. We got bassoon, horn, trumpet, trombone, tuba. Got the percussion section and strings. Pretty classical ensemble. Got lots of sweeping melodies over here. It's pretty cool rhythms. It's going to be a lot of fun to produce this thing. All right, the correct answer is 195. So, just to prove my point, I don't want to spend forever talking about this, but if I take my Metro Timer free app on the iPhone to 195, dun 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 dun. So really the math is you just take whatever the dotted quarter note would be and then multiply it by 3, which is 195, which turns it into an 8th note. But now we have to trick our DIW that an 8th note equals a quarter note. So the quick and easy way to do this within Cubase, if any of you are familiar with Cubase, there's this cool little tool here. If you hold down and you click down on any of the tools here that have a little notch in the arrow, you can actually click and hold down and select a different type of mode for that selector. So I'm actually going to choose the sizing applies time stretch. And then when I go down to the little guys here, I can actually click this and it'll stretch the MIDI as well, exactly like it would do with audio. So a quick fix to this is you can obviously hear the track at the very top, which now works perfectly with my click track. Da 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 da. Right? So it's a clear 6/4 time signature. And what I can do with that is honestly, here's in a situation where if I open up that sheet music, it'd be very helpful very quickly. It's a short track, very helpful just to see. Just to eyeball. Okay, cool. Bassoons should be done right around here, 11, 12, 13. So they are out on bar 13. So I can take this and stretch it until it's done. Let me turn my grid on. So this is super fast and easy. Right there. It should be done on 13. And now we're done. And now it's a perfect time stretch to fit. Let me also take a quick look at the horns. Horns should be done... what is that? 1, 2, 13, 14, 15 is their last bar. So I can take all of those right there. And it looks like pretty much all of the tracks do that. I can take that and stretch it until 15 is the final bar. And that way everything's going to just magically do its thing. Just like that. Boom, now we're done. And now everything should fit perfectly within this new time. Tuba. Let's make sure it's the same. Once again, thankfully this is not a lot of tracks to work with, so we're not gonna get super lost in the weeds here. But it looks like it stops right there on 1, 2, bar 13 as well. And it looks like most other things do stop there. So we take this, and when I say stop, I'm referring to the MIDI region itself, like the note, not the MIDI region. So it doesn't make sense to just stop it at 13. I have to make sure that tiny little rectangle stops right at 13, and that way it's a very clean change for everybody. Let's go through. I have to do this for all of them, otherwise it's going to get really screwy later on, and I'd rather save the time. So that ends on 13, 13, 13. So all the percussion ends on 13. So I can do the exact same thing. I can kind of do a multi-stretch here, where I'm moving them all to be done on 13. It looks like bass drum, a little bit longer. So we'll feel that out. It's not a big deal with percussion. And then I noted that the strings end on 13 with the not 13. 1, 2, 3, 15, with the exception of the cello, which extends to the very end. So I'll make sure not to grab the cello. I can do that like this by hitting, I'll show you my keyboard real quick. Over here with my thumb, I like to push the control button. So that way when I select just the tracks I want to, I don't have to select every single track. And that way I'm not grabbing the cello track. And then very quickly, you can just take him, stretch them all, as we saw in the sheet music, to 15. So this is not something I would normally do, but this is kind of an interesting situation where my click was not matching her click. And if we're going to work with MIDI, then we have to obey the rules of MIDI. So I want to make sure that this cello line really extends to look good. And it looks like, as you can see, this cello part, it needs to start at the same time, measure 5. So that just means that I stretched it not enough. So that's kind of a guess and check, to be honest. Just a little region at a time until it's exactly where it needs to be. I think one more and we'll have it. Cool. Boom. And there we have it. So now we should have a perfect set of MIDI information that matches the track. And we could very briefly just play a little bit to make sure that each of the entrances are appropriate. Cool. So it looks like there was a piece of bass drum that didn't quite make it. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what happened to the MIDI information, but it's not a huge deal. So this is really where the fun comes in. I'm going to save my session, and now I feel like we can really start the conversation. So first and foremost, thank you guys for being here. This is going to be a lot of fun here today. Thank you for choosing to hang out with me instead of playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo on PS4. Because if you haven't heard, that just released this morning. So I appreciate you choosing me over that. And hopefully I'll bring enough value to you here today that you will believe the same. So yeah, today we're working with Hannah Ausband Scheidt. We're working on 2 different tracks. The first one is called Gods and Men. It's this 30-second intro piece it's the main theme for the show. And then a second track called The Last Triumph. It's a bit longer. It's about a minute and 20 seconds. A little bit more straightforward. It's a 4/4 track, so that's going to be a little bit easier to produce. But really, I wanted to make sure that before we jump in here that we got that timing right, or else what do you do from there, right? So anywho, let's do this thing. Let's jump in. Let's have some fun. I do want to show in my mixer here, literally all I have is a limiter. I recommend you always put that at the end of your chain of your master track for any piece of music. I have it set to -0.1 dB. That way nothing peaks, no one's ears blow up. And then for today's purposes, because it's a live stream, I just have this recorder plugin on so that you can hear my voice as we talk right now. So this is a really cool track. I think it has a nice epic range to it. What I feel right off the bat is the samples that Hannah chose to use are a little weak. They don't have a lot of oomph to them. There's not a lot of dynamic range. So my goal here is to beef this up as much as possible. I think the orchestration is good. And I think if you were to hand this to a live orchestra, they would play it and it would sound okay. So if you were to hand this to a live orchestra in a live hall, this would it would still sound a little bit weak, mainly because there's not a lot of low frequency happening, mainly because the bass drum is just not going to do much. Boom, 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 boom. It's like a mezzo forte dynamic level. But what I feel like is she's trying to be dramatic with this. It's a main theme, right? It should be an earworm. It should really get you engaged. So one of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to layer a lot of things. Because right now I see that you have hired an entire orchestra to sit in this soundstage, but we only have one bassoon playing. What's up with that? Why are other woodwinds not playing? I see that we do have some good horn representation here, which in a traditional setting, you probably have 3 horns or 6 horns. So that's a pretty good beefy melodic line. I like that we're doubling it with trumpet. And then the trombone comes in as the bass information. And I see that you're also doubling that with the tuba, but the tuba is really not getting what the tuba is made for. Tuba is going to be really solid at doubling these low notes. And what I'd like to see is that the cello and bass are also doing that. So what I sense here is that we're really having a maybe an internal dialogue of what's the most important piece of information here. So obviously we have a melody, which is nice. Bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum. And that should totally be heroic. I get it. That's going to be a horn line. So let's do that. Let's double down on that. Let's do double trumpets on that. Let's do probably the trombone on that as well. Let's really, really hit that hard with both violin parts. And like right here, I notice I'm actually a second violin player. Maybe not these days, but I used to play in orchestras, and I was a second violinist. And so I always got super, super annoyed when I see this right here. It's blank space. Like you could totally be doubling this first violin part and it would sound twice as loud and beefy. So there's a missed opportunity right there that we can fix. Viola will also do really well to double that. So the melody is the most important part. So let's really hit that hard first, and then we can beef out the rest. Now, the choice is yours, Hannah, since you're here with us. Do you want this to be strictly orchestral to sound like a live orchestra? Or do you want to add maybe some synth elements, like a low synth bass to really give it that trailer earthiness, and some sound design percussion to help? Because right now your bass drum, it's kind of weak. And if you want it to sound live, it's going to that's the choice you have to make. But if we're really going for a trailer Hollywood style production, then we really need to dive into some of the sound design elements, which I'm happy to try it if you are okay with me diving into that. And in the meantime, while you're making that decision, I'm going to jump into the melodic information. So the way that I do this with MIDI is I'm going to keep everything up top and then add tracks as needed, because these are MIDI tracks. They have no sound associated with them. So I'm going to go ahead and mute the full mix, which is what Hannah sent me. And I'm just going to go to town by adding new instruments using Kontakt instruments. The Kontakt is a beautiful, beautiful sample instrument. It's a sampler, is actually what it's called. It's where you can throw your own recorded sounds into it or use pre-recorded commercial libraries. So the first thing I feel like we just got to get right is the horn melody. So let's open up. I got lots of choices here with a lot of pro libraries. So the thing that comes to mind for me is Cinebrass Pro. They have this really epic horn ensemble, like 12 horns. So I really want to just smash this in the face. Right here, horn ensemble triple F. So fortissimo sustains. I feel like that's going to just really blare. And please let me know in the chat if that's a little too loud. I'm going to knock it back a couple dB on my master just to make sure I'm not breaking ears. So you see how even something like that, just a good sample, a very solid loud brass section, is a game changer. So my goal here is, let's start with the MIDI information. Let's see if it does its job. So I'm just going to take this first horn part. I'm going to duplicate it. Oops, I have the wrong selection tool on. Let me get rid of that. Go back to normal so I don't accidentally screw stuff up. Anyway, I'm going to duplicate the horn line because now we're talking no more MIDI, right? We're just doing sample instruments. So if we just play as is, first thing, my sustain pedal, I have to have it held down with Cinesamples to make sure it's legato. And I'm going to use my left hand over here with my mod wheel to make sure that I'm rising with the sounds here. what I feel like is we need to split up the harmony because there's a lot of horn players here. There's 12 horns. So I feel like we really need to outline the chords, which I think is a C minor, then an F major, then a G suspended. Ooh, Peter Jones in the chat. That is not East-West brass. Get that out of my life. Get that cursed nasty out of my life. I have a vendetta against East-West samples, by the way, if you didn't know that. I despise them. Everything about them. They're awful. So anyway. So because she provided sheet music, I can be a little bit more off the cuff here and record a little bit. See here. See the rest of the orchestra's doing. All right, so this is C minor, then E flat, then F, then G suspended. I want to nail that melody though, so I'm going to pop it over here. Let's have some fun. Let's do it, shall we? Okay, let's crank it up. Let's do it. It's a C minor, baby. I made the mistake of keeping the old information. Here we go. Also need to click in my ears or else I'm going to butcher that. Let's try again. I think this is the most important line in the entire thing, so that's why I'm taking the extra time for it. Here we go. Cool. I think I got all of that with the exception of played one wrong chord. Played an A flat instead of an E flat. That one. Not trying to rewrite the piece here. Cool, and put a little decrescendo there like the sheet music indicates. With the exception of the first note, I don't feel the need to quantize anything. Keep it organic. Cool, there we go. So let's do the same thing. I noticed that the violins are doing the same. So let's add strings track here. Now, to be honest, I am more of a composer by ear anyway. So I think we're gonna get a better result by just kind of, I don't want to say winging it, but by playing it by ear for the melodic moments, and then we can use the MIDI for the other portions. So let's jump back in here. So I'm going to grab some strings from Kontakt as well. What would be a great fit here? Melodically, I think we need to mix some things. So I think the first item here is to take, let's do Adagietto strings from 8-Dio, and let's just take violins. I'm going to mix violins and violas legato. And then I'm also going to add a warmer library from Spitfire to kind of mix them all together. So I'll add violas. So I'm creating my own multi here just to kind of for the moment, here is what I would believe to be the best string combo. So I'm going to take the volume on these. I'm going to turn the far mics down. Let's turn the global volume on each a little bit less than nil or unity, which is 0. And then these are legato patches, by the way, so they're monophonic, not mono like stereo mono. So Spitfire, Loegria. Let's do high strings, just to give it some warmth. The good thing about Kontakt patches is they're just not heavy. They're not resource heavy, so you can do a lot with these guys. So for these, let's take the legato patch, which is this guy over here. Turn the rest off, turn the close mics on, but turn them down, and then it's already at -6, so that should work well. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to make 2 of these. I'm going to call that strings high 1. We'll make 2 of these. They're not resource heavy. It's no big deal. High 2. And we're going to do octaves. So here we go. You guys in the chat, you're arguing over, you're debating my claim. I don't like resource heavy samples. If they're resource heavy, then they slow you down, they get clunky. And I've become a Kontakt guy, hardcore. Cool, let's take another pass. Cool. So this is just kind of getting that main statement out. The next item I want to add, we gotta have trumpets. And I feel like palette might be the right way to go with this. Let's grab, they're just called brass, but it might help just to have a whole ensemble. So keep in mind here today, we're not going for necessarily realism here. We're going for production. We're going for what sounds good and full. Nah. Let's go back to center brass to keep it consistent. Let's get these ensemble trumpets. Because it's a little, it's not super legato, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I'm also going to add, what company is it? Orchestral, brass, solo, Chapman trumpet. That's actually why I have my Kontakt bank organized this way. I have it organized by instruments, not by companies, because I can't remember what company does what. That's Embertone. They have a solid Chapman trumpet, which is a solo. Sounds a little weird mixed, but I think with the horns it'll work. Cool. I'm gonna turn that entire trumpet thing down anyway. It's a little loud, a little in your face. Cool. How you feeling so far? That question's for anybody. What do you feel like? I feel like the trumpet is going to give it the punch that it needs to, like, you got to hear the melody. You got to know that there's 16th notes in there. Da 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 da. But we don't want to use short strings or short samples to make that happen. But by using enough solo instruments kind of snuck in there or different patches, it just helps warm it out and make it more clean and clear. So let's knock out this cool little violin ditty. So for this, I gotta watch my time here today. I want to make sure I'm not spending all the time on this one track, but I do want to give it the time it deserves. So for this, I'm gonna start blazing through. Hope you don't mind. So let's go to strings, ensemble strings. Adagio, adagietto are my favorite short strings out there for spiccato. They're just super crunchy and raw and in your face, close mic'd. So I think helps a lot. And cool, Hannah, I'm glad you like it so far. Yeah, articulations are the nemesis of composers with using a DAW. There's some tricks you can do. Clarity is always going to be found in choosing the right sample. You can't make a muddy sample sound clean. This doesn't exist. One of the tricks is to use solo instruments and to mix them in, as I've been doing. So these strings are just the best. And they're one of the cheapest ones in the market. So I do feel like I'm about to get all kinds of flack from this, and you can just yell at me. To Peter's point and Chance's point, I almost never use east-west, but there are a few patches across their line that I really love. It was my first as well. So play, I like to avoid it when I can, but here's a moment that I'd be foolish not to use this. I actually believe that the viola short patch from the gold strings, let me find it. Like, most of the patches are not great, but some of them are really stellar. So it's the violas short. Which one is it? It's the staccato repetition. It's the round robin times 8. This thing is a solid viola patch. The only challenge is you have this awful reverb. So you can go to the release and chime it in. So then I'll also do the same thing. I'm going to add in their second violins, which are, let's take 18 violins short. Let me use the same thing, the spiccato add. If you're going to use a play engine, you better double up instruments, or else your ram's going to be gone in a second. Nope, that's not a good patch. Let's try this one. Super duper way too loud. So it has its merits. And I'm not saying I'm going to use that by itself. No way. I'm going to call that strings short 1. This one's going to be called strings short 2. And in any DAW, you can record enable 2 tracks at once. Now they're mixed. So let's take this line. Let's duplicate it down twice. Here we go. I actually feel weird now because this is not a spiccato sound. This is more of a staccato. So let me see. Elemental P, Q, R, S, T. Boom. These are alphabetical. I want to save some time. Hit the arrow. Maybe. Come on, work. I'm telling you, play engine destroys your machine. Like right now, my whole machine's frozen because of that stupid play engine. And I have a lot of RAM. I have 64 gigs. It doesn't matter. It just like stalls your machine. I've never seen a machine run play well. Nope. Ah, dadgummit. Let's do this. Let's mix. This is the experimentation part. You got to nail that sound because that's the sound of this track. Let's do. Let's go back to Spitfire, Albion. Let's do the high strings again. And use their short patch because it's very chill. Has more legato to it, which I think serves this piece better. We're gonna put some woodwinds in there anyway, so it'll help. But here we go. So we're gonna take the play patch, turn it down like crazy to mix it in. Sounds like this. Yeah. Such a difference. Oh my gosh, such a difference. So I am going to, nope, I'm not gonna mess with panning yet. There's no point. You can already feel how warm that sounds. Let me go back to the original track just to compare. This is Hannah's original. Not making fun of you, Hannah. We're all here to learn. Okay, here's where it is now. Okay, cool. And I do want to continue with the woodwinds, but I don't think a bassoon by itself is going to do it. I think we need to do another Kontakt instrument here. Oh, craps. I loaded the wrong Kontakt. There's now Kontakt 6, which is just Kontakt. Bleh. Why, Native Instruments? Why have you failed us? Okay, so this is just going to be called Winds Short. I don't talk a lot about Sonokinetic, but they have some seriously good woodwinds. Where is it? Like, no one knows about this company. It's crazy. They have the orchestral series, the Woodwinds Ensemble. I'm gonna grab a 16-bit. No, I'm not. 24-bit. Let's just start piling them on. Let's just do literally all of them. We're gonna do flutes, oboes, clarinets, and bassoons. And before my entire machine blows up, as anyone's would, let's go to this little cogwheel. Wrong one. Where are you? This one, the little save button. Go to global purge, purge all samples. And this way, this takes all of the super, like these are really big samples, it puts them all to 0. And now it will only, instead of loading, what is this, 20 samples within, like 20 patches per sample, at 24-bit, these are massive, 48K wave files. These are huge, huge files. Instead, I'm gonna go down to the little multi down here, piece of cake, since they're all attached with MIDI channel Omni. All I got to do is go to the bottom of my keyboard here and hit the key switch. That changes, where are we? There, is that it? No, I wanna find the shorts, right there, Staccatissimo. So now the Staccatissimo patch is selected for all of the instruments. And now we're gonna have ourselves a beautiful mixed and then what you just do is you mix the sounds that are too loud. So the oboes are too loud for sure. And the clarinet's too loud. That sounds great. Cool, let's put it in. I'll turn the entire ensemble down like 4 dB to squeeze it in. But let's see what we can do just by taking this bassoon line, copying him down. There it is. I do feel like right off the bat, we need to behave. We need to take the second half and duplicate it on top of itself, an octave higher, to give it more intensity. I'll do this for each of the patches that have this ostinato. You'll really hear it when the woodwinds kick in, the flutes. And what's cool about mixing multis this way is it automatically brings in the instruments that can play that range anyway. So as soon as we hit that point, the flutes are going to come in, and I didn't have to do any extra work. What happened here? Something sounds weird. Ah. So the bassoon was not actually ever on time. Curses. See that? I didn't do a proper MIDI stretch. That's what happened. See? Aha! See it right there. Ha 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 ha. It's so close. Let me go back to my tool here. Resizing. So close. I'm not even sure where it's supposed to go. There it is. Dun, 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 dun. And now I can go back to copying that. But you can see how significant that time stretch is for matching it into a DAW session. Come on, bassoon. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I believe in you. Oh, come on. There. Okay. Here it is. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I'm going to suggest not to include this little dun da 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 dun 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 in the middle of the phrase. It doesn't serve the notes well. It kind of clashes. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the rest of that. Okay, cool. So Hannah's mentioning the first note sounds too short, right? A little more staccato than I wrote it. It's an 8th note, and I think it's playing like a 16th. So yum ba dum bum bum bum. So just longer length, right? Probably fix that with the woodwinds by going to staccato instead. Might help. Is that better? We could also try, instead of the violin on that one, let's just do quick up and down. There it is. And you're probably also feeling it in the high string, so instead of the staccato, let's do not much I can do with that patch. Let's leave that alone. I can get that better. I think that fits it in. I think once we mix it at the end, it'll sound better anyway. We gotta get some energy going here. So let's start talking percussion before we run out of time on this track. I'm telling you, short tracks are actually some of the hardest to do because you have to put a lot of thought into every moment, every second. Let's just say perk and let's get to business. Man, I'm gonna mix 2 instruments here. The first one, this is Saga Trailer Percussion by Red Room Audio. Haven't done a review of this yet, but I will, all in due time. I'm gonna do World Ensembles mixed with orchestral ensembles mixed with, let's grab Damage from Heaviosity, which is, I'm going to put Armageddon Ensemble in there. Let's also add some toms. This is going to sound beefy, 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 beefy. You ready for this? Oh yeah. Whoa, let's not do that. Hit the hide all windows button. Why is that a thing? Whoopsies. There we go. Got a little over exhausted there. See, what I like about this is I don't have to EQ anything. Right? By the way, Peter, who's asking about Damage. Damage is part of Complete. Those of you who don't have Complete with native instruments, it's pretty awesome. So you'll notice how everything's organized. Low. And then I kind of have my snares and toms over here. Let's get back to business. So slappy. Yikes. Trying to keep the 6/4 feel in the low without going over the top with the reverb. I feel like perhaps the church toms are not serving this well. So let me try again by adding a closer mic'd toms. Darn, why is that not a thing? Let me just go to the, there we go. That helps a little bit. Makes it a closer mic. Okay, let's go, here we go. Are you kidding? I wasn't recording. Blast. One more time. But for real, why are we not recording? I don't understand. That's a first. What's going on? Like too much. Is it because the record button I somehow turned off? That's weird. That's super weird. Oh well. Here we go. One more time. don't understand. Not recording. Never seen that happen. How about now? Yay, Cubase. Thank you for messing up. Yay. Now we'll take that and quantize it because that's a lot of notes. Add another layer on top of that. Just something in the background in the meantime. Alrighty. Cool. Hopefully that shall all gel. Here we go. Notice I'm just trying to get a groove, right? It's not copy and paste it. I'm really trying to put a lot of energy into the transition moments. Now this painfully needs cymbals, right? So let's just make one just for cymbals. We've already done some of that. For this one, I am going to use the exact same library, which is the Red Room trailer percussion. They have one just for cymbals and they sound fantastic. Adjust to fit. Just a long one. Another cymbal. Okay, I'm gonna slap on an EQ for the percussion. is going to be low strings. Gotta get some of those chords in there. It's still very empty in the middle. So let's grab orchestral, strings, ensemble. Let's use them. Ensemble. Let's just do a sustain. This is from Adagietto as well. My favorite strings for close. And these I am going to pump up the volume quite a bit. So I can do octaves. They're beefy. Really play. Now you decide to screw up. I'm literally going to disable that track until we actually need it, because that's just stupid how much I just can't even describe how much I don't like it. See that? Watch, everything's going to work now. Oops, get off that track. Here we go. Low strings. That's so beefy and juicy. Okay, to mention your point, Hannah, how do you feel about me doing a C minor, E flat, F, C, and then in the second one, C, E flat, F, G. I feel like that'll solve it. What's that? About that. Blasted. I hate to do this. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna put my face. Hi, face. I'm restarting Cubase because it is not recording when I hit record, and that makes me upset. Let me reopen. Cubase has its issues. Every DAW has its issues. Sometimes you just got to restart it, move on. It's faster than fighting with it. And then we'll jump into the next track. We're almost done. I knew that this one would take a little bit longer than the other, just because it's more precise. No, Hannah, you don't have to change the melody at all. I think the G suspension only works once, and you should use it at the peak, which is the end instead of the middle. Let me see if hopefully it saved my change of chords. Let me double check. Turning my recorder back on. There it is. Yeah, I kept it. I like it. I think it's more drama. And those horns are a little beefy. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Cool. Let's get to the low strings. Let's get it in. Let's do it. Now it works. I know what's happening. Every time it pops like that, what am I doing that's overloading my machine? I really don't even know. It's none of those guys. That's a bummer. Junk like that happens. Might be the percussion. Let me take my percussion. I want you to see this. This is a real life thing that happens. So let's go to the global purge on this patch as well, just because there's so many things in there. Purge all samples, and that way the next time it plays, it won't spaz out on us. Let's try again. No clue what's happening, but I'm just gonna move on. So what 64 gigs of RAM gets you? I like that a lot. So it was the percussion after all. Or it literally could just be the presence of the play engine. Not trying to narc on it, but it really does that to your system. It just screws up all your resource management. That's why I hate it so much. Let's stick to quarter notes for the strings, because that's what they are. Yes, Hannah, to answer your question, the little statement of the bum ba dum ba dum bum bum, I took that out. We can add it back in here at the end. I actually would like that a lot, to add that back over here. I'd like to add it back. It just didn't, it clashed with the harmony quite a bit. Probably put it right here. Like right there. Just kind of do a final statement. Yum bum bum bum. That way you can let the reverb yump, and then you're at a clean 30 seconds, which I'm not sure if this is for a podcast or for a show or what, but it's a clean 30 seconds, which is good. Or might even be cooler just to leave that last note out completely. I like that best. Yum bum bum. Then we start the show. Or we could always add like a final note. Gives it like a cyclical, circular nature. Okay, what did we leave out? We left out low brass, which we have to have. Getting close here. Low brass. Okay, Hannah said she wants it. She doesn't want it to end. Okay. Bye-bye. Nice ominous end for you. I can take direction. All right, over here we have Cinebrass. Let's open up the low. I love this patch. It's called Monster Low Brass Articulations. It's just huge, bigger than life. Let's load it up. Don't know why. There we go. That'll make you wet your pants. Let's turn them down. All right, here we go. We give the same treatment as the. that. Do you like that? It's super powerful in that low end. So this is what you were aiming for with the trombone and tuba, but by themselves, it doesn't have that same oomph. So this mistake was due to the sustain pedal not being all the way down for the whole thing, so you gotta leave it down. Cool. I know you have this little cello line here. So I want to keep this. Let's see if we can figure out this notes real quick. Maybe chop that off. I don't know if this needs a solo, like a solo cello or not. Kind of like it just ending like that. What do you think, Hannah? I love this intro. How do you feel? It's ominous. I do think we need to turn those down quite a bit, actually. Let's see if our play engine is cooperating with us. Turn him back on. But I'm turning down those volumes a lot. Even the winds need to turn down. Here we go. So instead of turning down volumes, let me fix that. I'm going to crank those volumes up just a little bit. And instead of that, I'm going to take the MIDI info for all these. I'm going to go to velocity. I'm going to make sure that the second half of each of these is slightly higher. So you can do it like that. It's a quick little thing. Velocity sometimes can solve a lot of volume issues. That way that part's more intense. Here's what it sounds like. Now I can turn the volumes back down to compensate. That'll be fixed when I export it, don't worry. I love it, especially that horn cadence at the end. So do you want it? Do you want that percussion at the end? Let me know now so that we can wrap this up. For now, I'm going to say no and just mute it, because that's going to determine whether I need to add more material or if you really just want it to. Oh, come on, here. To mute the whole little chunk. I feel like it needs a giant whack. Is that what you want? If that's the case, I'm going to take just one little tiny sliver, whoop, and move it over. Let it dance. And I'll put it in place of this. That way it's one giant whack. Okay, your cello line. Let's get this in there. I gotta move on to the next track. Is it a solo cello or a cello section? I'm assuming solo cello. I don't think it's gonna have the emotion you're wanting, but it's not gonna give the ominous feel. We can try. Let's do it very quick. Solo cello bit here. So that's where he at? delete it? I hope not. Oh, there it is. This thing. Yeah, it has a cello section. Ah, your director was into that part. Okay, then I have to keep it now. Let me take, here's the fast way. I'm gonna take the stem you gave me, which is the cello. We're just gonna throw that in. See if we can make it sound good at the very, very end. Ooh, don't do that. Gross. How do I not warp you? Ugh. That's not what I wanted. Ah, because you're at a different BPM. That's not good. Because it's the same issue. Yeah, there's no way I can stretch that and make it sound good. That's just not gonna happen. Instead, let's take the low strings. I want to fix this for you. Okay, end cello. Strings, ensemble, adagio, legato, cello. I want to listen to the end while we're waiting. Let's do it. We're gonna mix viola legato in there as well. I'm determined to get this right. How's that? Let's just do cello because it's low enough. Sneak it in there at the end. Can I scoop it in like that? Like, I want to put it at the end. Can I put it at the very end? What is your thought on me making that end super creepy? You said ominous. And we take that and we do faltando strings, which is going to be this thing. That way it's like spooky and airy. Like that. Lots of air. Thoughts? I'll even like scoot it over a little bit. you want anything behind that? Or do you want it literally a solo? I feel like it needs to start sooner. Yay, nay? We go with it? Maybe. We have that at the very... I like it. I'm going to add... I'm going to call that Flotando Strings 2. Add a fifth or a fourth, whatever feels spookier. At the very beginning of that, so it doesn't interfere. Like that. Yeah, fourth sounds good. There it is. Okay. Last thing is add a tiny bit of perk. Man, that's what I get for like my pursuit of perfection here. So your idea was like dun 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 dun. I want to keep it organic and I don't want to screw it up with percussion. Like, do you want a giant retard? Okay, you said something super simple. About like that. Like a little roll. Cheesy, good, no clue. Let me feel out a cymbal swell. I think cymbal's good. I don't like the lows. Do you like the cymbal? Cool, let's call it. So the last little piece here is to go over to my... Oh, she likes the 3 beats at the end. Why? Why must she like that? After I deleted it. There it is. In the bag. Cool. Last thing I want to do over here, and call this piece done, and then move on to the next, is over here. I'm going to throw on my favorite little plugin called Ozone. It does magical, mysterious things that I can't explain, but it does magical, mysterious things. So I'm going to set a preset of all-purpose mastering. This one is very much about the melody. So I'm going to enhance the stereo image. Notice how it beefs up the EQ in the mid to low range there, and it already scoops down something that I already wanted to do. It images out, spaces things out, does a maximizer. I am going to change that to probably like 2. And the most modern IRC. Let's see how that alone makes this feel super duper epic. Here we go. This is Gods and Men Level Up Live version from Hannah Ausband Scheidt. That's how we say it. Ta-da! Yay! Okay. I'll send Hannah the final version of that without the stupid crackles and pops and whatever, but you get the idea. I'm happy with that. Hope you are too. Partially because of live streaming, it can mess with the volume levels and such, but hopefully that you like that. So let's move on. Let's go to the next track here. Be happy to send that to you later today. I feel like the next one's gonna be pretty darn straightforward. It's just beefing up the sound. The next one is called The Final Triumph. Let's jump into it. Yeah, it is very epic medieval. I like that style too. So this one, just pulling it up here. This is in 4/4, 90 beats per minute, which means it's gonna work out of the box without having to do crazy adjustments. So let's take a look. First thing I notice is we need to shift this track to fit the time. So it does mean I have to chop off the very beginning of the track, turn off the grid like that to make sure everything fits. Classic Hans Zimmer 4-chord minor 3 progression, love it. Let's not waste any time talking. Let's do this thing. This to me demands some what's called consordino strings. So let's open up to that same string patch I've been using all day. It's the ensemble patch of Adagio Edo, but for the ensemble I want to do long, and let's try consordino, also known as sordino. Let's try that this way. This needs just a huge amount of dynamic control. So what I mean by that is right now we have this what is it? Nope, wrong key. To me, that always reminds me of Hollow Knight. For those of you who've played that game, phenomenal soundtrack. It's all these like super consordino. So we can nail that, we get the track. Gorgeous. Oh, I love that. classic. I'm gonna take everything and slide it one bar so I can have some room, wiggle room for mod wheel. Cool, so it is a repetition, so I can handle that. Let's do solo. Here we go, blazing speed. Got 25 minutes to do a miracle. You ready? Mikey, to answer your question in the live chat, I am improving by producing. I'm not trying to rewrite anything, but I'm trying to beef it up. Here we go. Lots of mod wheel here. Louder, louder. Ah, crap. Nice. Just one mistake. I just went to quantize because everything's very metronomic here, and that's why I use a lot of mod wheel in that, and a sample that kind of already has a long attack to it. So we're just gonna do straight up quarter notes. There's one weird moment here I had. I intentionally moved the harmony up. Hope you're okay with that, Hannah, just to change a little bit, make it a little bit less repetitive. I saved it for the end though. That's where I was really pumping up the dynamics too with the mod wheel and how hard I was playing velocity. Also why I started with 2 notes instead of 3 or 4 note harmony, just to kind of space it out. And if you'd allow me to add some piano to this, I think this would be gorgeous. Here's where I messed up. Cool. Now I have to keep your violins. So I need to make sure those sound really, really solid. Specifically, we'll call them violins legato. And for this, similar to before, but I want to make sure we're really being legato. So adagietto, legato, violins. I'm going to turn down this patch though. I'm going to turn it on, but down, because I really want to focus on a different patch. And that'll be from Lo Egria. The reason I like to use that one is they're all soft instruments. It's a British orchestra, and so everything's recorded, much softer mics and such. So I'm going to make sure that the close mic is on, Turn this one up a little bit more than the other. I'm just going to turn on one patch. It's going to be the melodic patch you see with the little slur there. Oops. So the trick I want to do is I'm going to do legato, but I'm also going to put an EQ on that, just that patch, using Pro Q. I really want to milk this sound, so I'm going to really stomp out the highs. See, what a difference, right? Gorgeous. So let's get that in there. So it's just this progression. Let's listen to the original. You must, I know you're a pianist, but you must have played some Beethoven sonatas. It's a very Beethoven chord progression, like pianistically. It's like a classic G7 chord. So this is the moment that you need to have the upper octave. So let's do it. All right, here we go. I can't listen to the original. I gotta just do it. One more time. Just kidding, 2 more times. I like the upper octave though. Cool. This is it's worth doing, guys. I have to do it. I'm going to double it with the violas and celli. So the way we do that is orchestral strings, same guys, but we're going to do legato this time. Violas and celli. More cello, actually. It's going to really sound good. Okay. For this one, cello plus viola, legato. I'm not going to quantize those. Cool. Hannah's saying the last note's a B. That was fine. Thing is, real players don't play the same way every time anyway, so even if I make a tiny mistake, not note-wise, but just the timing-wise, it's just not a big deal. Okay. Cool, I love it. I think that sounds really, really solid. Let's keep going. Get some of these other elements in here. All right, let's get that flute. I think I just need to do a woodwind thing. Maybe if we double it. So I'm gonna do something a little strange, a little different. I'm gonna do violins plus flutes. Not the strangest thing in the world. They're known for doubling melodies. And before, go ahead. There we go. Let's see what we can do with that. Dum 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 dum. Let's do. Also gonna put oboes in there. I think it'll warm it out. We're just gonna do vibrato, vibrato, turn the oboes down quite a bit. And then we will double strings. Let's also that's all I want to do with that, but I also want to add piano really, really bad. I think it just demands it. Keyscape piano, to be a Yamaha C7. It's not a Kontakt instrument. What am I doing? There we go. Keyscape. This just needs it needs a piano really bad. A very specific kind of piano. This one. I'm in that realm. So before I get too carried away. I want to put some delay on it. I'm going to put just a standard stereo delay plugin, default Cubase plugin. And we just need to do quarters. But not the left side. We'll turn him off. Ah, so nice. So the strings kind of suck you in, but the real melody is the piano. If you approve, Hannah. Keep it simple. Actually, it's just E flat. Same notes. It's an octave higher. flipping not recording. Oh, it's gonna kill me today. I don't know why it does that. Oh well. I'm not sure how I feel about this B. Okay, I like that. Percussion will help. You feel how that flute line really sings now? Let's turn that down. I'm gonna do a little experiment real quick. I'm gonna mute that, and instead of Keyscape, I'm gonna try Noir, which has a really cool particle engine, which will turn that into a pad. It might actually sound even cooler than what it currently is. And if not, if it's worse, then we'll get rid of it, but it's worth trying. So Noir, let's do the felt. But actually, wrong blasted Kontakt. So I have Kontakt 6 is in here too. Some of the newer plugins only work in 6. There it is. Yep, that's the winner. It's just the felt. It sounds really good. And then let's go to the effects and the particle. Where is it? This guy. Check it out. Much decay. Very subtle. Do you like it? Let's try it out. So that's Noir. Here's Keyscape. That's really going to help too, having a pad in the background. And I'm going to take this and throw a little bit more. It's called Valhalla Shimmer. This is a chorused reverb. Just listen to what this craziness does. Big stereo. Super subtle, but just be a nice ambience in the background. The downside is we do need to carve it out. We need to carve that out with an EQ. We're almost done here. Big time. So it doesn't take over the world with how fat it is. You can feel it though. Big difference. So if you want to write like Hans Zimmer, you got to use synths. Just saying. Got to throw these guys. Super reverb pads in the background. I'll probably start small then go big. Here we go. Blasted, not recording. Cubase is broken. What's happening? It sounded nice. Try again. Dang it. Sorry about that. Still going. And off. There it is. I think the only weird spot in this whole thing, I think we can all agree that the noir works better in this environment because the cool particle things in the background. The only certain part is this B thing at the end. I think the note is right. I don't think, I know what to do. Just wait. Just wait. This needs a piano hit, one hit. Yum. It also seem, here's what we got to do. So I have two pianos loaded. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna mix these pianos. Hope you will like it. I'm gonna just do keyscape for the beginning, noir for all of the more intense stuff. Intense meaning like where it builds. Let me get this right. So keyscape first, noir second, and the keyscape for the final note. That way we don't have the particle engine moving in the background like this. Sounds like this, mixed. Perhaps I do them opposite, where he goes there, he goes there. This just needs more earthiness. And what's nice is that pad helps fill it out at the end, so it's not so stagnant. Here's the beginning. Darn. Noir just wins today. So here's the real solution. Copy the same patch. I'm going to say noir end. Move the MIDI down. Get rid of everything else. That way we just have one noir patch that disables the particle engine, and that way we don't have to deal with it sounding different. Here it is. Let's get our ding back in. Ding. Excellent. Okay, last piece and then we're done. You had a bass drum to get some rhythm here. Yep, so we need a different kind of percussion here. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I'm gonna hit, I just call them trailer hits. Let me grab them here. So Ava Instinct is a really important website you should go to. A bunch of free samples that you can make your own instruments out of. Yes, please. Yes, sir. Can I have some more? So let's go to that patch. We need desperately to put an EQ on that. So we get rid of all the buzzy stuffs. and just keep the good meaty stuff right there in the middle. Here's what it sounds like if I just do a nice hit. Yeah, that's a hit. I'm also going to run it through the same reverb that we've been using. 2C Aether. That's gonna really feel good. You don't need a lot of percussion in a track like this, but you need some. Here we go. All right, we found the sound. I hope you can agree that feels really, really good. Okay, let me chop it up so we can duplicate a bunch of times because that's not going anywhere. Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get it exactly at 14. That way we can just duplicate like crazy. So it's on 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And then of course this final hit, boom. And we're also going to duplicate that track so we can have one more with a different EQ. Just need to go through, delete all of the extra little guys. And let's find another sound that we really like. Let me take the EQ off for a sec. Don't want to go that direction. Let me pick a different patch. The same. And for the sake of time, I really got to move here. But I want to finish. So let's do hits. See what those feel like. I like that a lot. Do you like it? It's simple, but it's effective. So what I'm doing is, let's see. To fill in that middle space. We're expecting something, but we can't put a snare there. In a traditional rock tune, we would. But nah, we gotta fill it out with something. So here's just the trailer hits by themselves. Then I am gonna pull out good old East-West to get some cymbals. I think we have ourselves a track. I think these will work a little bit better than the other track version, just because these are nice, long, fat cymbals. One of the other really good things about East-West that I will give them their credit for is that this one patch, it has a bajillion, where are you? Cymbal gong, right here, all cymbals. It's a massive patch, but it's fine. I like the usually long ones with some EQ on them. Be good to go. Putting that on right now. Pro Q. This really needs some maintenance. High end right there, and get rid of all that low end nonsense. Turn them down a lot. Kind of like that. Let's get him in. I also like that matches the pad and the piano hits at the top. The bum bum bum. There it is. Thoughts, comments, questions, controversy. Here's the track. Gosh, why am I such a perfectionist? You ready for this? I'm gonna do one more thing. It needs it. It needs some euphoniums of all things. Some soft brass. And then I'm running out of here. Let's see. Euphoniums, not something we use every day. Spitfire has a really good one in this little aiguilla patch right here, horn euphoniums. So they're British horns. They're much softer, much more mellow. I just want, it's like putting a mute on a horn, basically. Like here, I just want some nice, fat, rich. Right? What are my chords? E flat, so. Sneak those in there. It'll just warm up the sound. Turn them down quite a bit, but I think right about here it could use it. I mean, they're soft, but... So I actually feel like we need to crank those up a little bit so they can actually be heard. There's one moment in there. Did not do the best job. Bum 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 bum. Let me find it. That was it. Super quiet. So yeah, the secret to those is making sure the mod wheel's up. find it. Right here, yeah. Okay, let's give it that final glue using ozone, and we're gonna have ourselves a final track. So in order to do this, I have to move everything down, which means I turned it off. There we go. Here we go, last little piece of glue. This one needs a different preset. This one really needs some fatness. Let's try emphasize mid-range. And then for the imaging, let's do a preset of gentle width. That way we have good mid-range presence and width across the board. For the maximizer, let's keep it at 2. I like all of that. Now let's hear the final track. This is the Final Triumph Level Up Live version by Hannah Ausband Scheidt. Thank you so much for being a part of this, guys. I do got to run, but let's play out the final track. Hopefully you love both of these tracks. I'm really a fan of both. And it just kind of shows that simplicity can go a very long way. A good melody, good harmonies, you just got to produce it. And then it can really sound really big and rich and full. And this is a fantastic theme for any kind of trailer or main theme. So yeah, hope this is helpful for you. And before we go, I just want to give a shout out that if you'd like to have your own Level Up Live video like this, where I get to work through your music, go to stephenmalin.com/levelup. That link is in the description below. And yeah, let's do it. Let's put this on the schedule. I've had a lot of fun with these so far, and there's many more coming up this year. So we're doing these every other week. And by the way, tomorrow, Wednesday, there's a brand new music business video that you do not want to miss. It's a topic that composers do not talk enough about, and it's something that I think we all need a reminder about. So make sure you check that out tomorrow. Music business rant. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, here we are. Here's the Final Triumph Level Up Live version. Hannah Ausband Scheidt. Here we go. Enjoy. False alarm, everybody. False alarm. I noticed one thing that I want to change. It's going to make this sound way better. We spent all that time making it sound cool, but we forgot to double the melody. The melody is really cool, and I don't want to lose it. So very quickly, I'm going to take the violin and flutes line, and I'm going to double that with horns. That just feels like the right thing to do here. So let me cancel out all of these patches. It needs to be its own patch. I should have done this earlier, but yeah. So we're going to take, let's do that same like massive horn. bonus footage here for you. See how that feels. Sounds so cool. Actually gives me 2 ideas. Hang with me, guys. Hang with me. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. And of course, Hannah, I'm all about excellence. I do things to the right. This also needs choir, and we have to do it. The challenge here, so here's what I need to do. I need to take horns plus trumpets. That's what's missing. I don't want to blow the trumpets out here, but I'm going to turn down the trumpets a ton. Okay, apparently I need to do trumpets separately, so it doesn't screw up the reverb that I have going on. Don't want to go over the top here. But trumpets, let's do, yeah, it makes such a difference adding that back in. That melody was getting lost, and it just needed a little bit of love. Don't know why that's screwing up. Trumpets are brutal. EQ time. Just needs that tone in there. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this horn line, it's a flute line, put it in the trumpets, and then horns, let's duplicate it, go down an octave. Let's see if that fixes it. And so what I can do is I can record enable both tracks at once, turn my record on, and then mod wheel and pedal both at the same time. Here we go. There it is. Cool. Horns needs to be turned down. Trumpet turned down a little bit. And the last item here is we got to slap on a little bit more reverb onto both horns and trumpets. Not a lot, like 12, let's say 9%. I think you'll hear the release is a lot more interesting if we do it that way. So for example, here's the releases of just those 3 melody notes. Last thing is, I always say the last thing and then do something else, but trumpets, I'm going to move to the right 15%, horns to the left 15%. Here's what it sounds like. Then I just couldn't live with myself if I didn't try ever so quickly to throw in, what's it called? Eighth Theo choir. Here we go. Choir, choir, choir. Like fighting the clock here today. We're gonna do it. Right here, sustains. And this is in Solidus choir. Have to do it. Just, it doesn't feel epic without it. Do giant awe. Just embrace it, guys. Here we go. Epic's about to get real. Oh yeah, totally necessary. Let me see how this feels if we get rid of the strings. I did that backwards, didn't I? This one. Yeah. 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 That does not need strings at the end, or euphoniums, actually. I feel like those are all just redundant. Where are you? Gravity pad is a little much, too long. Where are you? Sustain pedal. There we are. You can just go away. There we go. Here's the final. You can feel, yeah, it's like all the energy's been sucked out. And then this choir just needs the slightest mod wheel. We need this, but it needs to be like over here. All right, now the track is done. Here's the final track. This is, once again, this is called The Final Triumph. Level Up Live version by Hannah Ausband. I can't even say your name, I'm so sorry. Hannah Ausband Scheidt. Final version. Have a good day. See you guys.